Automakers throughout the world are shifting to producing electric vehicles as a result of changes in global transportation. This serves as a reminder to the industry that it's time to reconsider the existing methods of making cars. A number of established automakers are beginning to transition to producing electric vehicles, EVs, and new electric car startups are also entering the market. There is now more rivalry in the EV market as a result of the dialogue between established automakers and the emergence of new EV startups, particularly for established players like Tesla. Welcome back to Tesla Tomorrow, everyone. Most investors are more interested in learning how Tesla plans to handle competition in 2021 than in whether or not Tesla has rivals. Over the course of the year, Tesla sold 936,000 cars worldwide, an increase of 87%. Conversely, fewer cars were sold by GM and Stellantis in 2021 than they were in 2020. Without a short, there is intense rivalry in the EV industry, but a business such as Tesla may be able to hold its advantage in spite of shifting market conditions, and most other companies that are attempting to catch up to Tesla in terms of EV production are probably going to keep falling short. Established automakers such as Ford Motor Company and General Motors functioned in a different world in 2021 than that of Tesla. Due to a lack of computer chips, GM and Ford had to close one facility after another, which left dealer lots bare and raised car costs. These businesses must overcome a number of obstacles to keep their profits in check while producing EVs and, to some extent, increase sales. Yet, none have been able to replicate Tesla's success. Why does Tesla continue to succeed, and why is there not a single other business that can compete with it? There will be more in this video, but before we get started, please remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and enable notifications if you enjoy this kind of content so you can stay updated on all Tesla-related news. Toyota is renowned for both its hybrid cars and its cautious approach to buying all-electric cars. The Japanese automaker was only beginning its voyage towards battery power, while the rest of the world's auto industry was hard at work in the last few years. Toyota unveiled their EV strategy in April 2021, with the initial objective of introducing 15 new battery-powered electric vehicles by 2025. However, after the automaker lost the EV race, the EV strategy was changed several times, and the Japanese also made it additionally. Subaru has been focusing its efforts on producing electric cars. By 2025, Subaru plans to increase the number of electric vehicles it offers in a crucial U.S. market, including several battery electric vehicles. The introduction of electric vehicles will rely on Subaru's collaboration with Toyota Motor as it refocuses development to concentrate on the market and be further, according to Tomoki Mori, Senior Vice President of the Corporate Planning Division of the company. The company's expansion of hybrid models has further enhanced the company's electrification strategy. The automaker's primary focus is on strong hybrids and electric vehicles, with plans to introduce such models in the U.S. by 2025. In light of the state of the U.S. market, he continued, the company has moved its focus to the development of cars in order to provide a variety of models in its lineup of electrified vehicles. Similar to this, General Motors said that the introduction of the GMC Hummer electric vehicle in 2021 would set a new record for the amount of time it took to create a vehicle. However, the truck's production and sales pace fell short of expectations, with the Detroit carmaker selling just 854 of the cars in 2022. With some downtime at the production plant included, that worked out to an average of 17 trucks every week. Plans for GM to jointly produce 400,000 electric cars in North America were postponed by 6 months in October by GM CEO Mariboro because the business was unable to increase battery manufacturing as quickly as anticipated. Many in the electric vehicle world find Mazda's first electric car, the MX-30, unsatisfactory because of its limited range. The Japanese carmaker has always lagged behind when it comes to electric vehicles, although claiming that it is not too bad for customers to also own a second car at home for longer trips. In 2020, Mazda introduced its first all-electric vehicle, but it was limited to the European market because of laws requiring automakers to produce more electric cars there. However, Tesla broke records for sales every quarter and ended 2021 with almost twice as many cars sold as it did in 2020. Now that the industry-wide crisis has hampered the company, it's evident that it just had a better understanding of technology and its own supply chain. Compared to companies that produce far more cars than it does, Tesla seems to have projected demand more accurately. There are many obstacles associated with electric vehicles, which the majority of these other enterprises must overcome in the absence of endless funding. These manufacturers had simply not bought enough chips and parts quickly enough, and they were taken aback by how swiftly the vehicle market recovered from a sharp decline early in the pandemic. In contrast, Tesla used a slightly different approach when it was unable to obtain the processors it had anticipated. It used the ones that were already there and modified the operating software to make it work for it. Bigger automakers were unable to accomplish this since a large portion of their software and computational know-how came from outside sources. When the crisis struck, automakers liked to use their negotiating power with the chip manufacturers, even though they frequently depended on these suppliers. The software developed by Tesla is regarded as the most advanced in the automotive industry, and it can be upgraded remotely. Additionally, because the business controls components like batteries, its automobiles need less chips, reducing the amount of centralized onboard computers to enable autonomous driving, and cooling Tesla is very important in the industry because of its capacity to summon essential parts. This implies that, sooner and more aggressively than other industry players, Tesla and perhaps other up-and-coming electric vehicle companies could challenge the hegemony of giants like Volkswagen and GM. Executives and decision-makers understand that global delivery analysts projected that Tesla may sell 2 million vehicles this year as its plants in Austin and Berlin begin to ramp up with the use of automation, similar to what is done at its Shanghai facility. Tesla soared above Volvo and Subaru in 2021. In a few years, this would probably place Tesla on par with Mercedes and BMW. Elon Musk's insistence that Tesla produce a large number of parts was a major factor in the automaker's production and supply issues that turned it into a laughingstock in the industry in 2018. In contrast, Tesla has performed remarkably well in 2018. By taking greater initiative on its own, Tesla was able to sidestep the battery shortages that prevented automakers such as Ford and GM from selling a large number of electric vehicles in 2014, when most manufacturers were still unsure if electric vehicles would ever catch on. Together with Panasonic, Tesla started building what it called a gigafactory to make batteries. Making this decision early has given the automaker much more control over its own destiny, and other automakers have realized that they need to do some of what Elon Musk and Tesla have been doing all along. The factory now helps ensure a reliable supply, even though Tesla acknowledges that this was a risk. For example, Markus Staefer, a member of Mercedes' executive board, stated that the automaker intends to create its own software and utilize more common semiconductors and fewer specialist chips in its upcoming vehicles. Mercedes will ensure that, rather than using 1,000 distinct chips in its vehicles, it uses tailored and standardized chips. He also mentioned Mercedes' intention to design its own car. Like several other companies that have already taken this route, Toyota does not intend to spend $35 billion to develop a complete range of 30 battery-powered electric vehicles by 2030. By the end of this decade, the manufacturer hopes to have sold between 2 and 3.5 million batteries worldwide. Without a doubt, Tesla may still have difficulties in trying to duplicate the growth it saw in 2021, but the automaker will probably stifle these concerns. In addition, Tesla wants to boost sales over the next few years by roughly 50% annually. The automaker has already said that, given its increasing output and need for more processors and other parts, its clever dancing around the instability of the supply chain would not be so effective. How do you feel about the growing level of competition in the EV industry? Please share your thoughts in the space provided below. If you'd like to learn more about Tesla's recent activities, click the following video to view it on your screen. I'll see you soon.